Sup Players, and welcome to the top 8 feature match from the Danish Nationals 2025. We are almost done with the whole tournament, and today we're going to look at the top 8 feature match. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this. So, okay, to begin off, I will say Player Left has some spicy sleeves. It looks like that there's some sort of, world championship sleeves or something like that. And I believe that you wait on the time to begin right here, so yeah. That's also something. But yeah, you guys have already seen it on the title and thumbnail which decks are competing right here in top 8. So the time has just begun. 45 minutes, let's go. Who will be the winner of this game? I don't know. But we start out here and I can't recognize that card. It looks like... I cannot actually recognize the card. Well, sure. It's just me that doesn't know the card, guys. I'm sorry. What is that card? What is that monster? Doesn't matter because he got troll, so yeah. Okay, so he's going to pop that. And effect to add or summon, but it gets ashed. I believe that it's effect to summon because, it were negated by Ash Blossom and Throw were already a thing, so yeah. Foolish Burial, sending a monster card to the graveyard. Looking in the hand, what card do we want to send here? Well, hold on. Let me just check up on the cards used. Okay, it's Crystron. I actually just saw the Crystron monster right there. So Crystron in top 8. That's actually crazy to think about, guys. That Crystron made it to top 8 feature match. But I will say the deck itself does have some secret engine or combos, not engines, combos to make. So yeah. So tribute that to revive to summon free for free. So that's something. Yeah, I see that. And to be fair, guys, I have no flipping idea about what Kristen does, so I'm blank on that. I'm just completely blank on that. I don't know anything about the deck. So I can only talk about what I think that the cards does. So he synchro summon into that monster right again. And it looks like that he will summon from the deck because he cannot search. Yeah, so he summons out that thing, which I don't know what is. I don't know the names. Overlay into Cyberdragon Infinity and going into, or Cyberdragon Nova and going into Cyberdragon Infinity, which is a pretty insane negate, actually. Plus, it can just eat a monster on the field as a material. So, Kristen Synchro, Kristen Monster, and Cyberdragon Infinity plus a face down, which potentially could be a negate, like in Imperm. I don't know what the Synchro Monster does. I don't know what the monster card does. The main monster from the Bane deck does that were summoned. So, again, I have no idea what the deck does. But yeah. Okay, so we start out by activating. Okay, it's Mermail, so it's Abyss Strike. Oh, he dumps Abyss Spike to summon out the guy that I cannot remember the name on. So yeah. So he summons that, activates effect to do something, and that is Forbidden Droplet, sending Mulchami Fuvulas to negate the effects and half attack. And then we activate something with Mermail, and that gets negated by Infinity. And that is game number 1. Over in that quick second. Which I will say that is definitely... That's actually kind of insane, guys. That all it took, like, the Crystron player played through a Droll, an Ass, yeah, an Ash. That were just my English completely bugging out. I'm sorry, guys, for that, but yeah, um, and that's kind of insane to still end on a couple of negates. Plus, he had Droplet set face down, which I will say that's also kind of insane to to think about it. I will say I love Droplet in some sort of way. I love to play the card. I also kind of love to play against the card because then you have to think about, okay, where do I go from now? And I would say Droplet is definitely a card. Like I'm not experienced. I don't want to experience Droplet all the time. I just want to either play the card or play against the card, but I don't want to get destroyed by the card. So yeah. I actually believe that I have a couple of droplets lying around here that I want to make in a strategy. Yeah, there they are. But yeah, that is just me, guys, shuffling through some cards to kind of make a strategy work in some sort of way. Maybe, maybe not. Plus, I'm sleeving a deck, so yeah. That is the noise that you can hear in the background, and I apologize for that. But I feel like that I can do some work while I'll make the while I can't speak now. While I make this video. There you go. It took me 3 tries to do this, so that's definitely something. But yeah, I thought I could do something against it. If I should quickly talk about the match, I will say that the Crystron player definitely had everything going for him. He definitely knew, okay, I need to do this play if I get rolled. I need to do this play if I get ashed. I need to do this if I get impermed. Like, he had everything onto it. But yeah, oh yeah, we already began, and the Mermail player activated an effect to remove Nibiru, banish Nibiru. And I will say that's definitely, out of all the cards there were only 2 hand traps, which I will say Nibiru is definitely the best one against Mermail. So this might, I don't know anything about it yet, guys, but this might be in the Mermail player's favor. What happened there? Okay, I don't know what happened. Droll and Lockbird. Oh, yeah, okay, I see. I was like, what is happening with the card now? But I know that apparently that were just to say, okay, now I do have a response. Just get ready for it. And I will say that's funny in some sort of way to think about that. I know some people actually does that. They just put a card face down, and whenever it's ready for the opponent to, trigger, if it's Ash Blossom, then it's when a card will search or send or summon. If it's Nibiru, it's when the 5th summon is happening. So that's kind of crazy. But I'm actually looking forward to see. Again, I don't know anything about the Crystron deck. I don't know what the strategy is, and I definitely don't know what the deck does. But I will say, I know that Mermail is really weak to Nibiru, and I will say that were the best play from the Mermail player to do right there in that situation, to just get Nibiru out of the way, banish it until the end phase or the standby phase. I believe it's until the next standby phase that it comes back. But then again, having to just deal with Nibiru just right there, it's just peak. Like, he knows everything. He knows, like, okay, this card destroys my strategy. So now I'm kind of gonna, I'm kind of destroying his interruptions. Like, I love when people does that. I love when people just play through and just say, okay, I know what card destroys my strategy, so now I'm going to play either around them or play into them, but still continue to play. So, and when you can do that as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I will say you have reached you are beginning to reaching your maximum potential in being a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and that is what I feel like is kind of happening here. The Mermail player saw the opportunity, removed the threat, and just he's just comboing. So now, as we can see here, he summons out the Mermail King, and here he summons the Poseidra dragon, I believe, and links them away into the card that I cannot remember the name of. So basically, guys, right now on the Mermail players board, we do have the Kraken, the number 4 Silent Kraken, something. Isn't it what it's called? I can't remember. Which turns everything into water type monsters, which I will say that can hurt a little bit in some situations. Then we have something that can dump a Mermail card, I believe. Plus, it will special summon a Mermail when destroyed in the Link 2 monster. And then we have Mermail King that protects the Link monster, the Mermail Shadow Squad, and the Silent Kraken something. Plus, we do have Deep Sea Diver, something like that. Plus, a fish. And he dumps top 3 cards, I believe, here. So, with one effect, I have no idea. Maybe Mermail Shadow Squad. Maybe. But yeah, I will say that I love to see these types of matches. Like, I'm not doing it as much as I used to do, but I love to actually just watch after, after they're done with them and have uploaded all of the matches. I love to rewatch some matches. Like, I think I've seen the finale of um Bologna 2023, where Joshua Smith is playing the Runic Bestial. I believe it was Bologna 2023 YCS. I've rewatched that like 5 to 6 times because I love to see the play. So yeah. But yeah, it looks like that the Mermail player has passed over to the Crystron player here, and the Nibiru is going back into the hand, it looks like. And we also have Mr. Starboy or Mr. Waterboy thing on the field that boosts every water monster with 500 attack and defense, I believe, and all fire monsters loses 500 attack and defense. I cannot remember correctly. But I believe that Nibiru is back in the hand, and we start out by activating Foolish Burial. We saw that he started out with that. And are we going to change something? We're going to change Forbidden Droplet here, sending a monster plus a spell to the graveyard to negate the Kraken plus the Mermail Princess thing that dumps a Mermail, which I will say that's a really good card to hit. Also, especially because of the other monster that I believe has a quick effect to pop. A water monster your opponent controls, so having those monster effects turned off really helps out some strategies in the Crystron deck, I believe. Because I believe that the Crystron deck doesn't only have one signed attribute to their name. I believe that they're multi attributed. So yeah. So that's definitely something. But it looks like that we do have a monster effect active to dump a Crystron monster to summon, which is going to tribute to summon 2 from the deck. Or I don't know if it summons 2. Maybe it summons 2, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just summons 1. And it looks like that it were only 1 summoned. And now do we have some triggers? It looks like that we might have some triggers, maybe. and we're going to activate the Crystron continue spell. And I don't know what the um I don't know what the opponent of I don't know what the Mermail player talks about here. Maybe he just asked in terms of some effects or some trigger effects. Maybe I have no idea, basically, guys. And that's just because then I don't know what the in any of the Christian cards what those cards do. I don't know what the cards do at all. So I apologize for that. I'm sorry, but yeah, that is just me being stupid. Maybe it's because that it's not in because I see that he has turned on his phone right now and showing it to a judge. So maybe it's because that it's not in English language. So yeah, I also believe that some of these people in the top cut, most of them I heard from Anton, which were the guy that won the top 16 match. I heard from him that they only were like 3, 4 Danish people in top 16, where I believe that he talked to me about it, and I believe he said that he lost his top 8 match, which isn't this one, but off stream. So yeah, maybe. Or not top 8. 8. I believe that he lost his top 4 match. Yeah, because he got third place. So yeah, he lost the top 4 match, and got third place. So again, congratulations to him. But now we do have this match in focus. Synchro coming into one of the bigger crystal monsters that revives back a couple of them, maybe. No, that's a trap to the hand. And do we have more triggers in the graveyard? Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. It looks like that we do have a trigger banished to do something. Tribute that to summon from the deck. It looks like summon or search. Hmm. It's kind of interesting. So we summon out that one and that one. And I also believe that the Mermail King protects against tar or destruction effects. So that's why he could target why the Christian player could target the 2 monsters with Droplet. And now we do have the big Christian monster, I believe it's a level 10, right? And what can he do? He can steal a monster, maybe. Again, I have no idea what the card does, but it looks like that he will be doing something with those monsters. But what will he do? Banish them, shuffle them back into the deck, summon them to the opponent's side of the field, summon them to. He banishes them. Sure. That's a great idea, actually, to banish. I don't know, were both of them Poseidon monsters? It kind of looked like it. It kind of looked like that. So yeah. Um, and I believe that he asked about what happened to the Link monster. I didn't see. Sometimes I don't see what happens, guys. And now all of a sudden everything is just gone. And now I believe that he asked about what happens when they die in battle and stuff like that. So he attacks that one right there, and it's destroyed. And now it gets a trigger effect, I believe, to summon Stealth Kraken Spawn from his extra deck for each material. Isn't that correctly? Unless he doesn't play them, of course. Unless he does not play them. And now I believe that he asked the judge about something, some ruling questions, maybe. Again, it's hard to see, but yeah. Hmm. We got a card banished to. Is it a revive? It looks like he is going to special summon something. Yeah, he summons that one back. He sets one and passes to the opponent, I believe. And now in the end phase, banishes one to dump to draw one. And search as well, because Abyss Strike, Abyss Princess were banished or something, searching Poseidra. So yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something. And now I believe that he asked about some ruling questions, maybe again asking ruling questions. And he draws for the turn now. The Mermail player has drawn for his turn. And I believe that he's still asking some ruling questions, maybe. Damn, what happened to the light? It's funny to think about, guys. I just feel like that, like the left side of the board of the table just got shut down. That maybe the lamp behind him shattered. I thought that I just feel like that the light just disappeared for a second, or it got a little weaker. So effect to pop a card. I believe that the Mermail monster does that. Can he trigger it is in response? That's the question. Maybe he can, maybe he cannot. I don't know, guys. And here we see that he activates a trap card to pop a card. It looks like that he destroys the Poseidra monster right here, and what, shuffles back one of the Crystrons to do it. So it is a target effect, I see. So he tags that, pops that. That's interesting. And it did look like that. That the Poseidra bounced the trap back to his hand. It looked like. So that's, again, it's pretty interesting to see. This match. I love to see these type of matches. Like, it's nothing ordinary. Like, it's the first time that we actually see Crystron on a feature match, which makes this much more interesting in some sort of way. And that is, again, it's just my opinion on the stuff, guys. I'm just saying that. That is what makes this, in my opinion, the match so much more interesting. Because it gives me the opportunity to actually see, okay, this is a funny feature match. This is actually something crazy. So yeah. And again, that is just my opinion on the take, and you guys can have your opinion for yourself. Again, that is just your opinion. I say, just like I have my opinion. We all have different opinions on that and thoughts about stuff. But I find it really interesting that this is a feature match. And yeah, I think he passed back to the Mermail player here, because now we have Abyss Prince. Something like that. We have the prince on the field that dumps for cost. I think, yeah, he dumps for cost to search. I believe is the full effect. And then we have Abyss Sprite, Princess Sprite. What's it called? Princess Sprite, something like that. Yeah. And that's also something. I love how this round right here, or round, this game is what's it called, takes longer than game one, because in game one we set up a bunch of negates, and then boom, that were the game. Where here it's basically what's it called? It's basically much more than that. It's basically something else in some sort of way. And yeah. And don't mind me in the background, guys. I'm just leaving up some cards and shuffling through a binder, so I apologize for that. But yeah. This match is basically really interesting to see. I feel like that in all other types of feature matches that you see normally on the bigger screens and in much bigger events than this event right here. Like, it's still a big event for my country, at least. But, when you watch feature matches from, like, Berlin, like, again, the next YCS or tournament or something is going to be in Berlin 2025 in July month, I believe. I don't know if it's actually a YCS. I feel like that it is a YCS. But yeah, you know what I mean, guys. And like, having those thoughts about it, I will say that it's definitely going to do something for the people that win these games. Because first of all, you get an invite to the next big event. But then again, you get to play your favorite deck, and this guy definitely loves the Crystron deck. I know after, I believe it was in Alliance Inside that it got support, or else it was in Supreme Darkness. I actually believe that it was in Supreme Darkness. I can't remember 100%. But after those times, after those decks got support, well, then it's just become more, funny to think about. And yeah. Plus, guys, I also feel like that for the format that we're entering slowly, like with Seal, with Mitsurugi, apparently also with Crystron and Mermail, I feel like that Mermail still is pretty strong after the ban list, because this event were after the ban list were announced. So after Behemoth Jock were banned. So basically I will say that it's still funny to see Mermail going head to head against the bigger leagues. So yeah. Alright, so what happens here? It gives tokens, or what happens? Or did the Crystron player just ask if he had tokens? Because that might be that might mean that the Crystron player does have Nibiru here. Again, I don't know what the cards on the field does right now, the Crystron cards. But I believe that if he nips here, then it would definitely hurt himself that very much. So yeah. And that is just something that I feel like that is something, yeah. But did we pass over to the Crystron player, or is the Crystron player so just throwing a lot of effects down in his opponent's turn? I feel like that we have passed over to him. Haven't we? Haven't we done that? It looks like it, so maybe. Oh, we're going to overlay into Cyber Dragon Nova here, which is crazy. I feel like that is going to be game with Infinity. So yeah. And that's game. Taken down by the Crystron player in top 8. So yeah, guys, that was everything for the top 8 feature match right here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll just catch you in the semifinals in top 4. Peace out.